On the show. So here we go, guys. Ready, Jake? I'm ready. Go live with Ben Higgins. You ready to do this? Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to welcome my guest, Ben Higgins, on the show. Hi, Ben.
Hey, buddy. We were able to see each other on video this time.
Exactly. I agree. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's good to be talking to you, Jake.
It's good to be talking to you, Ben. So, I kind of gave everybody a little introduction about you, but if you want to tell everybody a little about yourself, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I live in Denver, Colorado with my beautiful wife and my amazing dog. Check him out. He just got back from puppy care or puppy camp.
Oh.
Um, and I have a company now called Generous Coffee Company, and it's kind of my main focus. We sell coffee and hats and sweatshirts and mugs, and then we donate 100% of the profits to nonprofits around the world. So that's kind of my main task right now, and I really love it.
Nice. Nice. Well, I guess a lot of people may also remember you from The Bachelor, so tell
Mhm.
everybody a little about that, Ben.
Yeah, in 2016, I was the Bachelor, and so it's been a bit. It was a roller coaster of a life kind of change for me. I was working as a software salesman in Denver, and I wasn't content in my job, and I hadn't made a lot of friends out here yet. And so a
Mm-hmm.
lady at my office had said, "Hey, how about you give this show a try?" And I said, "Okay, well, if we sign up and they call me,
Mm-hmm.
then I'll respond." And they did. Sure
Oh,
enough, the
that's
show called,
awesome.
and long story short, I went through that process, and it changed everything for me. I mean, it really has been a great opportunity for me because it's helped me meet my wife. In fact, when I messaged her on Instagram, she
Mm-hmm.
responded because she wasn't super creeped out because she kind of knew what was going on, and it's also helped me start a whole new career. So it's been really incredible.
Yeah, well, and of course, I did tell everybody a little about how you were formerly an Indiana University student here. You graduated from IU, so go Hoosiers on that. So,
That's right, man. Well, I'm a massive IU fan. I actually grew up a Purdue fan because my parents both went to Purdue. And
hmm
I'm an only child, and I said I'm not going to do what my parents did, and so I went to IU, and I'm so glad I did.
right.
It's just an incredible place. I wish we could have better sports to talk about, Jake, but
I
we'll
know,
have to
right?
wait till next year.
Exactly. I agree with you there, Ben.
Hey,
So, yeah.
hey, sorry, my dog was getting into the the charcoal.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. So, yeah. Anyway, no, I agree with you, Ben. And honestly, to tell you guys the truth, Ben is such a great guy. I'm so grateful that he and I actually got to meet through Instagram as well.
Yeah.
And we've been talking for a while now, and he Earth guy, and I'm just so glad to have you on the show, Ben. So thank you for doing this for us.
Well, hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it, Jake. It's been great to meet you also. I saw somebody ask, "Where's Waylon?" Waylon was just here with me, but he did get in the charcoal, so he was sent inside. We talked about 3 hours ago. He was at 2 weeks of puppy school, and so he's back and ready and just enjoying the house again.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, well, I have a dog too. He's somewhere laying around my house, so he's laying around too. He's just being great. But yeah, so anyway, last time we did this, I had asked Ben some questions, and we had a great time doing that. But yeah, and Ben and I actually have something in common. We both are big fans of country music, and I actually just recently got back from Las Vegas. I went to the ACM Awards in Las Vegas this year. That was a lot of fun.
How was
So
it, Jake?
it was a very fun award show. Of course, you had Dolly Parton hosting the show. So, I mean, she did an amazing job. So,
Yeah, well, I saw the suit that you picked out for the event, and you're looking good, buddy.
well, thank you, Ben. I appreciate that. I wanted to look a little nice for the award show. Apparently, what happened was I went to the show and then realized the pants were so too tight. Were too tight,
That
so I
happened.
couldn't put them. So I couldn't put them on. So I had to wear a plain T-shirt and blue jean shorts to the show, and I was just like, oh well, that doesn't matter, you know.
Well, the beauty of country is everything's accepted.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a fun award show and very different than what I expected to see it on TV. It was very fun and very good experience. So I love that.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, I'm happy.
Well, thanks, Ben. I appreciate that. But yeah, so yeah, Ben, tell everybody about your now this was kind of an interesting story, but I did not know that you were a grand marshal for the little 500 bike race here at IU a while back. Tell us about that.
That's you do your research, man. You're good at this. So, what to put it into context, I'm old for my grade. So I graduated college when I was 22. I was on the Bachelorette when I was 25, and I was the Bachelor when I was 26. So, like, it's not that long a period of time. In fact, I still had friends in grad school when I was, on the show, and it was super fun. I mean, you at IU, you go to Little Five, you enjoy all the festivities, you celebrate, you have a great time, but it was really interesting to go back from a different perspective. One, where I stayed on campus at the hotel. I did my nice little wave around campus in the car, went through the parade. It was just really odd to me to still feel like, hey, I should be in college, yet now I'm the grand marshal of this event that I went to and celebrated for so many years, and it's one of my best memories. It was such an incredible time. Anytime I can go back to Bloomington, it's always brought new memories. And in fact, my wife has never been, and so this next year I promised her we would go to Bloomington.
Oh, that sounds good. I know Alyssa really wants to see you. I remember the last time we did this, she had asked you a couple questions, and she told me later, she said, Jake, I'm so glad that I did that because that was fun to do.
Well, I hope to be able to meet her when I go.
Well, I know she loves, she said she enjoyed watching you on the show and everything. And I'm sure a lot of people on this live actually enjoyed watching you. But of course, I know a lot of people know that you actually, and this was actually kind of a fun thing too, but I didn't know about this till later on. But but you, Ben, were in a music video for a country music artist. That was actually kind of the cool thing. So tell everybody about that. Tell them about that experience.
I'm impressed with you, man. I don't know how much time you spent Googling and pulling back old articles, but one of my good buddies who I love to golf with and hang out with is Colt Ford, and Colt's been a great guy for me. He's gotten me into some crazy cool events and some like golf tournaments, and Colt's just been a good friend. So he asked me to be in his music video, and I was in his music video. Man, that was probably 4 years ago now. It was so much fun. I played the principal, and he was the custodian, and I was super upset in the music video because the love of my life was slipping through my fingers, and I couldn't change my life around and do anything about it. And he was kind of singing to me the whole time.
Yeah.
I'd recommend anybody going out to watch it. I don't sing in it. Good for everybody. But I do act in it, and some people watch it and they say they feel my emotions when they're watching it. So I do have I can fake acting for a little bit.
Well, I know I was watching the video and I thought it was super good. I thought, wow, this is super good, and that's what really got me into it. And of course, I'm a big country music fan myself, so I kind of like to listen to music that kind of talks about has a story behind it, and that was just a really good story song, and I really enjoyed listening to that. And
if you want to watch it, go out and Google Colt Ford and Ben Higgins music video, and it'll pop up for you.
Yeah, I'll definitely share that to all my friends. But that's one thing that I liked about it. But yeah, of course, if you guys don't know that I am on TikTok as well, and I know that's like the most popular app as anybody knows. And Ben is also on that app, and fun stuff on there too. I've seen some of the videos, and they are amazing.
Jake, I got to post more on that. It sounds like, don't I?
Yeah, you do, Ben. I think people would like to see that.
Okay, I can figure it out. I'm not great with the social media stuff, and by the time that it's the time of the day where I should be posting or doing this, I'm usually just trying to relax or hang out with my family, and but I think I can pull out some dance moves. I can't promise them to be fantastic, but I could dance a little bit.
I think people would like to see that. I think that would be kind of cool. Well, I think we have a question in the chat here, Ben. So let
Okay.
me read this for you. Okay. So one person actually asked, that, "Who is your favorite country music artist?"
That's a good question. Um, I'm a big fan of old school country. So Waylon Jennings, it's why Waylon, my dog, is named Waylon, is always going to be my favorite. I can't see anybody surpassing Waylon. And
Hmm.
just actually, his pianist was our pianist at our wedding, which is
Oh,
super cool.
really?
Yeah, he's a part of Jessica's family's church, which is awesome. Um, I recently, I mean, Chris Stapleton, right? I still love
Hmm.
Eric Church. Um, I, I just, I think most of my country, like listening, is like some folk country, even. So,
Hmm.
like Turnpike Troubadours. I don't know if you consider them folk or country, but they're kind of in the mix. I love
Hmm.
Turnpike, Canadian Ragweed. Those kind of bands are always
Oh,
hitting the
that's
spot.
good.
I have a soft spot for Darius Rucker.
Yeah, I know. I know he had a really popular song back in the old days called "Wagon Wheel" that was a really big hit, and that was like one of the most popular songs in my high school days. I remember listening to that when I was in high school. So
Yeah, Jake, if you there's a place in Bloomington that called Kilroy's, and
yes, yes, I do.
Kilroy's before they closed down. Not that I was ever there for that, but they would play Wagon Wheel,
Oh,
and
that's
by
cool.
Darius Rucker to get the party ending.
Yeah, I know. I know. I go to the Bluebird a lot, and they have a lot of great music there too. And it's a great place just to hang out and meet friends and talk to people. It's awesome. But yeah, I agree with you on that. And of course, I'm also a big fan of country. I'm a big fan of like Luke Bryan,
Hmm.
Reba, Dolly, any of those artists. You know, those are my type of artists, and I like that. And so that's
Jake, did you know that Jessica and I got married at Reba McEntire's old house? She sold it 3 years ago to make it a wedding
really.
venue, and that's where we got married at.
Oh, that's awesome. I
Cherokee
was
Docks, it's called.
Oh, that's awesome. I think I saw pictures of that
Yep.
online. That was cool. That was pretty cool. But yeah, no, that was kind of a fun memory. Of course, I have always been enjoying that kind of stuff. All right, we just had another question, Ben, that popped up. But
Okay.
somebody asked, what's your favorite movie?"
That's a good question. It's one I was asked twice this week, actually. Um, I'm a big fan of like I think it's early 2000s
Hmm.
comedies. So like Wedding Crashers and Old School. Um, I really like Step Brothers. Those kind of
Hmm.
movies always make me giggle. So I'd have
Hmm.
to put them up there at the top for me. And I could watch them anytime. Like Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I could watch
Right.
them any time of the day.
Right. That's good. Yeah, I like to watch some kind of funny movies too. I'm also like to watch cartoons and stuff, but that's
Yeah,
that's kind of a thing I like to do. But yeah, we
good.
I love doing that. So Ben, I know a lot of people might be interested about this, but let's talk a little about your new book that you put out a little while back, "Alone
Thanks,
in
man.
Plain Sight." Tell us about that. Tell us about that.
Well, thanks for asking about it. It is an incredible thing to go through the process of writing a book because it pulls out a lot of emotions out of you personally. And I wrote
Hmm.
this book as really for myself, and I was hoping for a few others. Anybody that's out there who feels alone, who feels disconnected from the world. And so the book is
Hmm.
broken up into 4 sections that I felt like I could identify in my life: connection with self, connection
Hmm.
with others, so friendships,
Hmm.
connection romantically, and then finally connection with God. And I think what
Hmm.
I wanted to do was just walk through my life process, and then the story of a lot of my closest friends who have stories that I felt like could plug into the book.
Hmm.
I share their stories with the hope that when people read it, they say, "Hey, Ben's been through this, or he's in it." And the 6 people that I write about sharing their stories, they've been in it. So
Hmm.
I'm not alone. I'm not alone in my insecurities. I'm not alone in my troubles,
Yeah.
my sorrows. And so it's called Alone in Plain Sight. And
Uh-huh.
it's the coolest thing I've ever done. And I hope people read it for multiple reasons. One, I wrote it and I would love people to read it. Two,
Right.
I do think if you read it, it's going to be hard for you to feel alone anymore. And that's something important to me.
Yeah.
I don't like it when I feel alone. And I definitely don't enjoy the idea that other people are sitting out there feeling alone.
Right. Yeah. I know when I started reading it, I kind of got into it and started kind of realizing like, oh, this is actually really good. I'm really liking the story, and
Yeah.
it kind of made I read through the whole book and I keep reading it, and just think, oh my gosh, this is such a powerful book. It's so great, and I agree with you on that whole thing, Ben. That's truly a great meaning of that. So I
Well,
really,
thanks for reading it, Jake.
yeah, no problem, Ben. So anyway, I know the next question I have for you is this one's kind of a good one, but in the experience that you had on The Bachelor, would you ever consider recommending to a friend or relative to go out for the show, or what do you think on that?
Yes, I would. I think I have people. I just saw Thomas Jacobs joined here, and I don't know if he's still watching or not, but like, there's people that go through this and they get the raw end of the deal. I'm not gonna lie and say great people go on, and maybe it's not for them, or maybe the moments they're on the show, it's edited and it's not a good look for them, and I get that happens, and I don't like that. It's never enjoyable. Some people deserve it though. Some people come on the
Right.
show and
Yeah.
they deserve the edit they get, and
Yeah.
that's who they are. But for me and my story, it's been the thing that's it's changed all of my life, really. I mean, it's changed the way I can work. It's changed the way I meet people. It's changed the amount of people that want to listen. It's here's a good
Mm-hmm.
story, Jake. So I was at my hometown church
Uh-huh.
a few months ago, or it's like more of like I guess a nonprofit in my hometown, and
Uh-huh.
I was speaking, and I stood up on stage. And before I stood up, I was like, how in the world am I going to speak to 250 people who grew up with
Mm-hmm.
me, who know me,
Right.
who helped raise me, And the
Mm-hmm.
first thing that came to mind is, how funny is it that my life hasn't changed that much, right? My friendships are still the same.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, who I am as a person hasn't changed too much. And I said, how
Mm-hmm.
funny is it that I went on a reality television dating show and now people want to hear what I have to say? And that was the way I
Yeah.
started the talk, was how many other people out here in this audience have a message to share that needs to be heard that nobody's listening to. And I think
Mm-hmm.
for me now, I get to kind of go from that angle into the world and saying, hey, it's awesome that I get to speak. It's awesome that I get to meet people. It's amazing that I get paid to be myself. That I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to be mad at. That's a great career.
No.
But the question I have to ask is, how many other people are out there wanting to talk, wanting to share, wanting to express themselves? They don't have the platform to do it. And so
Right.
for me, it's been a great thing. It's given me a platform. And as I said, some people come on this show and it gives them the raw end of the deal. But I believe that the good people that come on can always redeem themselves. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of them do.
Yeah. Well, I totally agree. I know I watched some of the episodes from that season, and I always I thought, well, this is a great opportunity for somebody like this to be on the show, and
Mm.
and I always thought to myself, I know people who I've gone through a lot of people who come up to me and ask me for dating advice. They're like, Jake, what do I need to do, or
It's hard.
what do I need to accomplish? And I said, look, I'm not no expert at it, but I just say, I just be yourself. Don't change who you are.
That's
That's
good
what I
advice, man.
and that actually brings me up to my next question is about your podcast that you started,
Yeah.
the Hope Still Wins thing. So that I listen to that, and I think that is an awesome podcast. By the way, Ben, that is like I listen to that every day, and I'm just inspired by all the conversations you have on that. So that's another thing I wanted to bring up to you. But tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little
Mhm.
about that podcast.
Well, first off, it's great to hear that people are coming to you for dating advice, Jake. You must be doing something right. I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna find out. Uh, Hope Still Wins. Yeah, it's the podcast that comes out every Tuesday. It's wherever you can listen to podcasts. I prefer you listen to places where you can rate it and leave reviews because it's better for the podcast in general. But
Yeah.
the podcast really is about interviewing people who historically in this world, or traditionally in this world, we look at them and put them on a pedestal. We view them as
Hmm.
something better than us. We feel like they have it all together. We feel like they may be perfect. They could be pastors. They could be rabbis. They could be teachers. They could be authors. They could be speakers. They could be family members of mine. But what the hope of this podcast is kind of the same thing with the book, is that people would listen to it and feel less alone. And they would
Hmm.
feel more connected to the people around them, because they would realize these people that they put on a pedestal are not perfect. and they struggle with
Mm-hmm.
very similar things to all of us. And that when we actually get to hear each other's life stories, we get to understand each other better. And if we understand each other better, I believe that we can love each other better. And so Hope Still
Right.
Wins is really a place where we get to interview incredible thought leaders from around the world, dealing with all sorts of different topics, and get to, instead of yelling back and forth across the aisle, maybe it be about politics or race
Mm-hmm.
or religion, we just sit down and we talk and we hear each other's stories, and then people
Mm-hmm.
can take from that what they will. And that's been going
Yeah.
on for about a year now. It's something that I really want to work, because it's something I really love doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I can tell because every time I listen to the episode or see something of it, I'm always like, oh my, I gotta listen to it or I gotta see what's going on. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I do on Tuesday nights now is just listen to your podcast, and I think it's an awesome podcast, Ben. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. So
Well, Jake, thank you. Have you left a review?
I have not. I think I might have to after I listen to tomorrow's episode, maybe. So I'll have to do that tomorrow. So.
Thanks, bud.
You're welcome, Ben. All right. Well, I know I have another question for you. Now, this is actually kind of fun. But we're gonna do a little trivia here, Ben, just
Okay.
to test your knowledge. So we're gonna do a little we're gonna kind of go back to your IU days a little bit and kind of see if have some little
Be
fun
careful,
here.
Jake. Don't go too far back.
So anyway, I know in your book you mentioned something that you lived with a couple of IU basketball players. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So it's just my time at IU was awesome because I was on an AU team and I met one of my best friends in the world, Corey Barnett, on this team. And Corey Barnett was a walk-on at Indiana University and has been like a part of my life in incredible ways. A friend, a mentor, a spiritual guide, everything to me. And so being his roommate was something that felt really healthy for me back in the day, and it was. It felt healthy and actually was healthy. But through that, then Verdell Jones lived with us, and then Will Sheehy and Jordy Holes and Cody Zeller and Derek Elston all had places around us. Like we all had
that's cool.
We were in the apartment that we were on the same floor, and so we had a blast. And I was the one guy that didn't play basketball for IU that was in that apartment. So I was the one dude that would eat all the food that they bring home from the games, but would never work out. And it was fun for me because I got to be their biggest fan. I got to see the behind the scenes. I got to see them mad, sad, celebrating, happy, all this stuff. And I just got to be a fan of theirs, which in life, I think it was something I needed to work on, was becoming a fan of other people, and celebrating other people's successes. And I learned that through college in a time where most people, including myself, were very focused on ourselves. I got the ability to focus on them. And I was a huge fan. I never got their autographs because I've been weird, but I was a huge
right. Well, and I actually went to school with Jordan Halls. He and I actually went to South together.
He's a great dude.
Senior. He was a senior when I was a freshman, so I knew him very well. So that's I knew him very, very well. And actually, the fun thing has been I found out that you graduated the same year I did from IU, but I graduated from South in 2012. So you and I were kind of the class of 2012 together. So that was kind of a surprise on my end a little bit. But that was kind of special to me.
Just to think, man, we could have hung out. We could have had a Bub's Burger together.
We could have done something together. I mean, that's something we could have done. So.
Yep.
Well, Ben, I am so glad that we got to do this today. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy schedule. I know you've been kind of busy lately, and just thank you for being on the show tonight.
Well, I just got back from Israel, man. I was gone for 2 weeks, so I'm glad that I know that I was delayed on getting back to you, but I got back, and I'm glad we could jump on. You're doing a great job, man. Keep it up. You did great on the research. You're good at this thing, and so thanks for having me, and I wish you the best. And like I said, we have a couple, a long time waiting, but go IU.
Yes, absolutely. And who knows, maybe next year when you come to Bloomington again, we can get together and hang out and maybe get some lunch or something together.
Jake, that'd be great, man. I would love to do that. And I saw somebody ask if you can listen to the podcast in Australia. I don't know, but we can try. Hope Still Wins on Apple Podcasts. I hope you can. Give it a shot. And if you can, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, if you guys want to check out Ben's podcast on Spotify or wherever you listen to music, that'd be awesome. And go check out his book as well. It is a great book. I highly recommend everybody reading it. And Ben, thank you so much for being a guest on the show again. We appreciate you doing this.
Hey, no problem, Jake. Anytime.
All right, guys. Well, thank you, Ben, for joining us. And we'll see you guys for another great episode next week. So thank you guys for tuning in. Good night, guys. What's up?